Hello and welcome, Reds, to Anfield Road TV. Been a while. How are we, Reds? A lot has certainly very much happened amongst the Liverpool stories as well. We're going to dice it up really and get stuck into it really, and most importantly, want to gauge your thoughts and opinions. So if you are watching on the repeat or you are watching live as well, make sure you do get involved in the comment section below. Me or anyone on the channel will very much get back to it, of course, because it's been a very busy week on and off the pitch for Liverpool Football Club. And yeah, let's hope this season we get back to winning ways, because it's been certainly very frustrating, I think, for all of us, considering the great year we had last year. And of course, yeah, I'm pretty sure hopefully we can just start winning games of football. And yeah, it hasn't very much been helped by the story that as you can see there on the side panel. Anyway, we'll certainly start with Salah and what that means. Were you happy with what the Egyptian come out and said? Of course, there's been big debate amongst the Liverpool community, and not just Liverpool community, but the wider footballing world as well, because Salah, one of the biggest icons in European and world football, really. Of course, whatever Salah does say to everyone, of course, rightly so, because he's an absolute superstar. He's our Egyptian king, and yeah, hopefully he comes out with an apology. If you think he does need to do one, if he doesn't, then that's what we're going to be debating tonight as well, Reds. But if you are new round to Anfield Road TV as well, make sure you do hit that subscribe button down below as well. And bear with 1 second, trying to get the comments up. Anyway, so if anyone is commenting live, do get them in, and we will very much get them on the stream as well. Of course, speaking about the Brighton game, of course, on the weekend, that's going to be a very difficult game. I think when anyone's analysed Liverpool this season, you can never look at the fixtures, and given it was a points. When you look at the points, the first 5 games of the season, really good. But when you analyse the games, when you actually dug deeper into those games and those performances, all of us were like, oh, we squeaked past those first 5 fixtures anyway, and it was a case of one of them really that, yeah, we all knew we were just about getting past that game. Like, obviously the Newcastle game certainly does stand out. Of course, the Bournemouth game on match week 1. Chiesa's fade, and then obviously we went up the other end. Was it Cody got the 4th one? So yeah, big up there, Hero. How are we, buds? Even Hero, chat, do drop a like on the video as well, because obviously I think the channel's got a bit of a couple of cobwebs really, in terms of it's been a while. It's been a week or so anyway since we last done a video on Anfield Road TV, but we've been very busy as well. But Hero, nice one as always, mate. Not just supporting on this channel, but heading over to Anfield Index as well, mate. Very much appreciated, bud. Great support to me and everyone on Anfield Index as well, mate. So how are we, la? How have you gauged and chat? Yeah, we'll get straight into obviously the Salah story now anyway, but I will bookmark obviously the chapters anyway, so if anyone's watching on the repeat, you can skip to those chapters and very much take apart obviously and analyse the stories that we've debated as well, and get involved. Do drop a like on the video as well, Reds. Helps out, not just on my channel, but if you're ever watching any form of content, whether that be on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube or whatever, do drop a like on people's streams, really helps out, and even better if you can share their content out to your socials as well. So all well and good. But Hero, I know you certainly won't be happy, mate, in terms of Mohamed Salah. We'll get some of the it was crazy really with regards to what Salah did have to say on that, really, speaking about obviously Liverpool throwing him someone at Liverpool throwing him under the bus, and yeah, his promises were broken as well, and just an absolute load bare wham, if I'm being honest. I understand where he's coming from with regards to him being very disappointed in terms of not getting selected the last 3 games anyway. We're going to be speaking about Arne Slot. That's a different section after the Salah anyway. We'll speak about Arne Slot, and yeah, we'll speak about our Slot, so that's a different part of tonight's episode as well. But big up there, Callum. Obviously Callum looking like he's personally Slot out. Big up there, bud. 4 wins won 4 in 16 games, 10th in the league. So disappointed with that. Yeah, certainly can't. Don't be saying that last bit at the end, mate, anyway. You can be disappointed with performances, but like in anything, especially in football, just don't make it personal, really, mate. It's football at the end of the day. We can all be very disappointed. We can analyse and be frustrated and break down why exactly we are disappointed as well, Callum. But I do feel... no, we'll speak about that in a bit anyway. But Callum, thoughts on what Salah's had to say? When I first seen it and heard it and looked at all the quotes, I was very surprised. I felt sorry for the press officer standing behind Mo. Hopefully Mo has not got him the sack. Because that lad's certainly, I don't know him, but he, by all accounts, obviously he was the press officer, people were saying on social media, and it just makes his job even more difficult, of course. He certainly didn't anticipate. He and everyone at Liverpool Football Club, all of us as a fan base, didn't anticipate Salah to come out, and it just makes his job even harder and difficult. And obviously he would have been, I'm guessing he would have been having a little tell-off by the people above him anyway, but again, it just makes his job even harder, and it wasn't needed really from Salah. If you want to say something, do it on like your social media account, don't make it like, but as we know, and off the back of that, obviously that's the 4th time Salah's in his Liverpool career stopped in a media mix zone and spoke to the press as well. It was a case, obviously it was a Paul Gorst and a couple of the other journalists as well. Obviously, I think we've seen the stories after it as well, saying that he told some of the press to just wait there whilst he comes back out. And it's the fact that he said to tell everyone, wait there, I'll come back out and speak to you again, Salah. So it was pre-planned, it was premeditated, it was crazy. You can be frustrated, but at the end of the day, Mo, you've got African Cup of Nations. For me, when I'm looking at this, nothing will ever put aside what he's done for this football club. Like, we all love him to bits. Obviously, the way in which Carragher is very much, we know what Carragher's all about, really, in terms of the way he performed on a football pitch. He's very passionate. He was always on the pitch. He was the screamer, the organiser, and Gerrard led by example as well. And it was very obviously what Carragher said. I didn't agree with everything Carragher said, and a lot of people didn't as well. But when you analyse that, and it was very typical of what Carragher and Gerrard were on the football pitch as well. Carragher speaking from emotion, but he played with emotion on the football pitch as well. And Gerrard was a bit more structured, a bit more articulated, put it across quite differently, really. But Gerrard said it himself. He had it with Suarez, he had it with other people in the changing room as well, and he was disappointed. He said in that interview, it was the TNT interview. Chat, if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube anyway, and he sat down with Ali McCoist, we got there. A great interview, Edson. Yeah, 2 Liverpool legends in Carragher, and yes, Carragher is a Liverpool legend, and I've seen some ridiculous social media posts from like allegedly Liverpool fans, but it's probably just bot accounts anyway, just saying like, who's Jamie Carragher? Like, certainly have only just started supporting Liverpool the last 5 years anyway. We don't know who Jamie Carragher is, one of the leading appearance makers for Liverpool Football Club. And as I said before, like, you can massively disagree with Carragher, but Carragher, if he was in that changing room with Salah anyway, he certainly would have given him a right earful, and rightly so, because Jamie obviously grew up a Blue, but he represented Liverpool and he become a Liverpool fan as well, and he got Liverpool, as does Mo. Mo gets Liverpool as well, but I think it's very calculated, very structured, the way in which, that's what I've not personally liked anyway. He's entitled to do it, but as Carragher and Gerrard have said, you've got to deal with the repercussions as well with regards to when you say it in the press. As I said at the top of the show, we all know how a world, global superstar Salah is, and you're playing for Liverpool. Like, it's not like there's no respect to Accrington Stanley, who are they? But there's levels. Like, you do that in League Two, sounds, but you're doing it at Liverpool, doing it Real Madrid, doing it at Manchester United, doing it at Manchester City as well. Shouldn't have, probably. Well, City the last 10 years maybe. But yeah, like those clubs, big institutions as well. But yeah, chat, let us know your thoughts. It's mad and it's sad really, but in football, and as I said, Jazz on Anfield Index as well, and on the post reaction, it was a late night show, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just but you're never gonna get a fairy tale ending for a lot of football players, whether that be for Liverpool or a majority of just whoever you do support as well. You'd like your ideal scenario, a player to retire at your football club as well. But I think Mo's stuck in a bit of a limbo really in regards to, he wants to of course represent Liverpool, but by all accounts and the way in which he structured what he said, it was someone doesn't want me at the football club. Is that Richard Hughes? Is that Michael Edwards? And obviously he mentioned Arne Slot in a separate segment of that interview. So if it was Arne Slot, he should have just said it's Arne Slot. Not like cloak and dagger really in regards to, oh yeah, if it's Arne, just say it's Arne. But obviously he said he did have a relationship, Salah, with Arne Slot, and that's kind of broken down now as well. But chat, let us know as well. I'm still in a slant. This is what obviously Hero's saying. I'm still in the Slot in camp. Although I can't remember a game as exciting as the many during Klopp's reign, but he won the league at the first attempt. That's worth something as well. 100% there, Hero. And chat, obviously, if you watch me, you probably see me in video with gags after the Forest game as well. At that time, and this is why I know especially when you do football content as well, people go, oh, you said this like 6 months, 12 months ago. But that's the beauty of like supporting a football club and sport. Your opinions change from in certain opinions on football. Like, say if you're a Messi or Ronaldo fan, that's an opinion that you'd probably stay with, who you preferred. Like, I'm a massive advocate for Messi, but I admire what Ronaldo's done. But if it was like 5 years ago, I would have continued to have said Messi all day, because that's just my preference. But in terms of when you're analysing a football team and when you're analysing certain stories within football, especially when it's a results-driven game, as we all know as well, Hero, I said to Gags and I said to everyone on Anfield Index as well when I was speaking to you, at that time, at the Forest game, I was fuming. Absolutely, like all of us, I was fuming because the results weren't good enough. And of course, we're going to be speaking about Arne Slot in a little bit as well. But at that time, I was like, yeah, just something needs to give, something needs to change as well. That's the beauty in football, and that's the beauty that, as we will speak about Arne in a little bit as well, if Arne manages, and hopefully for every Liverpool fan, if there's Liverpool fans out there like that are hoping that Liverpool lose games of football, you're not really a Liverpool fan, mate, if I'm being honest. Like, you should want your team to win, regardless if it's Arne Slot. If it's not Arne Slot, whoever's managing, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whoever's on the football pitch as well. You want this football club to thrive, the supporters to thrive, the people within it, everyone as a collective to thrive, and even most importantly, Liverpool as a city to thrive as well. And that's what Liverpool have done so well as a city, even the blue side as well. Even though we do wind each other up on many occasions, but as a city, we are one. Obviously, when it comes to a derby, there we certainly disagree, but a collective togetherness as well. But yeah, chat, let us know your thoughts. And Hero, yeah, like I've always been, Arne, just turn it round, please, lads. But at that time, at the Forest, it looked very, very bleak, really, with regards to the performance level, and results weren't, as Callum said before, 4 wins in 16. That's not good enough, certainly. But if that turns into 14 out of 26, and like say we go win the next 10 games out of 11, that's better. But there's got to be a starting point, and I'm hoping we'll speak about the Inter game in a little bit as well. Hopefully Inter, but we've said that every week, haven't we? It's like, can we use this as the benchmark? Can we use this? Can we use that? But that's the beauty, and sometimes very much the negative. Certainly, we do support some other clubs in European football as well. But we've had it good last year, and we've had it good in our history as well in terms of winning trophies. And of course, you want to be greedy. You want to win trophies every year. But I think the main thing as a collective, as a fan base, is we are in a strong position. regardless post-Salah, whatever happens to Salah, if we do sell Salah to a Saudi pro club, Hughes is going to be getting his wallet out again and spending another 200 million, and rightly so, because it's but as we said, what was it, every Liverpool fan, what was it, before the season started, we all looked at each other and went, that's where we're getting the money. It's quite rare that we spend it's very rare that we spend over 60 plus million on a player. Of course, we got Núñez, that was an interesting signing, Premier League winner by the way as well. And then we went out and got Wirtz, and we're like, oh, wow, £100 million player. And then a couple of weeks later, it felt like an eternity later, we eventually got Isaac anyway. And sadly for Isaac, it's not his fault. It's just the case that Newcastle would just be in absolute pains. And Lord behold, Newcastle are really struggling this season. If only they just sold Isaac to us sooner, and they would have been able to bring 3 or 4 players in, and they wouldn't be struggling in the Premier League. They're doing all right in the Champions League, but as Newcastle found out a couple of seasons ago, they can't balance the club in terms of the rotation of players 2 games a week. It's really difficult when you've not got a squad like Liverpool or City. So yeah, it's unlucky, the Toon Army anyway. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Big up there, Daniel. And man, FA Cup opposition there in the new year. Nice one there, Dan. Good to see a couple of new faces in. Dan, I'm going to quickly... Are you in League 2? I do apologise, mate. I usually know a fair bit about the Championship anyway, boy. But Barnsley, a historic football club anyway. One of the longest institutes within the English game anyway, mate. But Dan, hopefully we beat you, mate. But I'm pretty sure you as a neutral have watched our games this season. You have certainly got a chance if we don't turn up, Dan. But nice one for tuning in, mate. And I know, obviously, the Barnsley fans, best of luck, safe travels as well in a couple of weeks anyway. Then, it would be nice if Liverpool could win games of football, mate. But you never know, Dan. If we have one of those days, but it's a massive payday for your lads as well, coming to Anfield. As that's the magic of the cup as well. Even if your team doesn't win, it's about that financial incentive as well, isn't it? If you draw a United, if you draw City, or if you draw Liverpool away from home, obviously a large portion of it, I think I don't know if it's still changed now, but is it 50% gate receipt as well, or whatever the split is, but it means money to Barnsley, and that's what, and this is why, of course, we're all stressing about Salah and transfers, and what a privilege that is, that we're speaking about footballers on 400 grand a week as well. And you've got obviously players in respect to the Barnsley lads anyway, but they're not on, certainly. They'd all love to be on 400 grand a week. But yeah, hopefully, best of luck, Dan, and fingers crossed. I am looking forward to that game as well. But big up there, Gary as well. Tario, how are we, Gary? Hope you're well, mate. Alonso to bloody hell, Gary. Sorry, you can't be saying that. You can be disappointed by him as well, but I get people's frustration. But just you can be disappointed, and we'd love nothing more and better than to see Arne Slot turn it round anyway. But if he doesn't, then of course, as you mentioned, Gary, there'll be managers like Xabi Alonso out there. There'll be a plethora, like lots of managers. Completely butchered that, but we move. A lot of managers to come and look and want Liverpool on the CV as well. They'll be already practicing their interviews as well. But the main thing is, for me personally, and probably the majority of us, if Arne Slot turns it around, wins us the Champions League this season, I'll tell you what, Chaz, we end up with the Champions League this season and a top 4 finish, that's a very successful season, I tell you, and especially with the way in which we've transitioned. Of course, you want to be going for the league, and given the players that we spent it on, we should be going for the league as well. But if we end up with the Champions League, I think that will be a tremendous season for Liverpool, and it'll be made up for Arne Slot as well. But of course, chat, Arne has got, after this year, he'll have a year left on his contract. So yeah. And at Liverpool, and Arne knows himself, he doesn't have to be reminded by every single fan anyway that he knew what he was taking on in terms of the pressure of the job. He had done a tremendous job last year, but as Arne's found out certainly already over the last couple of months, it's an extremely difficult job, and the main thing is he gets help from everyone within the football club as well, and he certainly will be. But yeah, it's we spent a lot of money. There's going to be big pressure, and certainly so as well. But big up there, Dan. League One. Oh, nice one there, Dan. Yeah, obviously League One. It's mad when you look at Barnsley and some other clubs that have obviously, like, I think chatted about them back in the Championship. Obviously when Conor Bradley was playing for them, I think they were in League One, weren't they? You look at Wrexham, they've come up the divisions, but like obviously the investment Wrexham have had, but obviously that's I know everyone goes, obviously they got Ryan Reynolds and all that, but if their media department and the way in which they do their financial incentives in terms of deals, you see them with like sports, like obviously the sponsorships and like interviews. That's what it's all about. That's what teams down in League 2, like the 5th tier, like English football, the conference, they should all be aspiring to be the next Wrexham. I know a lot of fans in that division as well. I know it's a Liverpool one, but we love to speak about all football as well. But if you can structure yourself as a football club and you can promote yourself really well, you can be the next Wrexham. But it's all about that, having that commercial connection and just having a good PR really, and good media and good infrastructure. But yeah, that's what a team should be aspiring to be, the next Wrexham. Of course, it helps when you've got certainly a lot of contacts in the industry in terms of everything, in terms of beer brands and all that, and having millionaire owners like obviously Ryan Reynolds as well, and all that. But it's all part of the game. It's all certainly part of the game as well. Big up there, Callum as well. And League One, 3 times winners at Anfield as well. Yes, obviously I believe he was under best manager also. Yeah, yeah. It's 2008. That's a long time ago, mate. Yeah, Rafa Benitez. Certainly long time ago that, mate. But very quickly catches up anyway. Let's be greedy in Jan here. So chat, obviously, Dan, it'd be interesting. You're a neutral as a Barnsley fan, mate. What's your analysis? I know it's obviously, if you're a League One fan, you're probably laughing at this story and just the general Premier League stories as well, but because like players on $400,000 a week, like throwing the toys out of the pram in interviews and not getting their way. It's quite rich, really. But that's football at every football club as well. But yeah, chat. Final analysis on Salah. For me, I'd like to see an apology. Does he need to? Probably yes, probably no. But the quicker this is sorted out, if he's not going in January, get him back into the club. Just do a social media post, like get into the changing room and apologise towards your teammates. Say sorry to Slot and crack on with your job as well, because he's getting handsomely paid at Liverpool anyway. Get on with your job, and if you want to leave next year or whatever, just get back to scoring goals, Mo. And very quickly it'll be forgotten with as well. Be wanting to win the Champions League with Liverpool, but it depends. We're just fans. We don't know what's being happening behind closed doors. It might just be an absolute mess. We felt that over the last couple of months, where haven't we, chat? We're like, what's going on? What is going on? It can't just be like, of course, form's one thing, but it's just a calamity of a lot of things, really, and it's mad, in all honesty, Reds. But do drop a like on the video as well, Reds. Do drop a like, a share, and a subscribe to Anfield Road TV as well, Reds. Yeah, that's the fellas, and even before those lads as well, Callum, but Shankly and obviously Bob, and the great institute that we do have at Liverpool Football Club. And that's why I said, Callum, and you know me, chat. It's and for every Liverpool fan, it's always the crest on the front and not the name at the back, regardless of in the dugout. Whoever's in the dugout, whoever's in the starting 11 as well. Of course, you want to be winning trophies as well, but the main thing is Liverpool are in a healthy position. With regards to no debt, like we're not like in like League 7 or whatever English football. We're in a good, promising position financially, and yeah, of course, it's an added beauty if you do win trophies along the way as well. But win, lose or draw, you get behind the Reds as well. We'll analyse, we'll break down results, and we'll be disappointed. But at the end of the day, when the weekend comes or the midweek comes, you get behind them again, and yeah, that's Liverpool for you as well. But yeah, chat. So Salah, final conclusion from yous in the comments. What you reckon will happen? I think he will be made to apologise. And I know there might be people out there that say, "Oh, you shouldn't have to do that," but do it in the changing room. There's a lot of the professional footballers as well, ex-Liverpool players, and just ex-pros in general as well have been coming out, and that's been the straight away thing that they've all said. Do it away from the cameras. Do it in house. If you have a disagreement with Arne Slot, have it in his office, not in front of the million of the cameras as well. It's like it's just a bit mad, really, chat. But it's one of them, Reds. And as Hero said there, footballers should talk on the pitch only as well. Yeah, that's where it should be, mates. That's how you get your new contracts. That's how that's obviously how Salah got his new deal last season as well, or the season before. And that's if he wants a new deal at Liverpool. Obviously, it's not going to happen anyway. But yeah, if he wants a new deal, start scoring more goals, Mo, and you might actually get in the starting 11. It's not that hard. It's honestly not that hard. Arne Slot's not going to be dropping Mo Salah if he's banging in hat-tricks every single week. That's not going to happen. It's he's got 20 plus goals in the last 8 seasons as well. As Hero said there, yeah. So, chat, an interesting story that will hopefully very quickly come to a very quick, swift conclusion, really, at Liverpool Football Club, because it's been an absolute joke, really, the way it's just carried on. Obviously, Arne Slot, chat, and that's obviously the next big conundrum facing Liverpool Football Club with regards to, obviously, on the pitch, off the pitch as well. We just mentioned it before. As you can see from the text below, Slot just win. Like, that's all he has to. Well, more, of course, the performance level, you want to be seeing a more gradually improved overall performance, really. There was a lot of, obviously, chat. Have you, when you've analysed this Liverpool side over the last couple of weeks, is it a case of, when you've watched Liverpool, is it a case of some players not running for the head coach, for Arne Slot as well? Do you think their heads have absolutely completely gone? They've had an absolute bust up in a changing room or whatever? Let us know your thoughts. So it's just an absolute mess as well. Like, and even like when you look, Arne, I think if you put him in Salah's shoes against that chance against Chelsea as well, I'm pretty sure if Arne could sub himself on, he'd try his best to bloody score that goal as well against Chelsea. But there's been many of a performance levels when we're watching it, and even the one thing that I certainly, when he analysed Liverpool last year, and a lot of people mentioned, was his substitutions were absolutely amazing last season. And when you contrast that now with over the last couple of months as well, you looked at Arne's subs and you were like, "Oh, lads, what are you doing?" Like, it's one thing that he prided himself on, and certainly he should be proud about that last season. Every substitution that he made was absolutely on the money, really on the money. You'd understood why exactly within games, structuring, positional play, moving players left, right and centre as well. But this season, I suppose that's what happens when we are struggling as a football club, Arne, in the dugout as well. He's just throwing on attackers. And that's where, of course, that comes from certainly a lot of desperation, a lot of being in a position. Obviously, he's never been manager of a club of the stature of Liverpool Football Club ever. Of course, he's managed Feyenoord, no disrespect to Feyenoord, or AZ as well, clubs of that stature, but it's a level up. And this is where Arne certainly, hopefully, he lands quicker rather than later as well in a Liverpool shirt. It's just mad. It is honestly mad. For me personally, I do think some of the tactical substitutions and team selection as well. And this is where we go back to Salah as well, though, chat. You've been selecting Salah, but Cody Gakpo, and I love Cody, chat. He has no me, chat. I love him to bits. Some of the selection of Cody Gakpo, and it's just mad. But it's that added notion of, do you throw Rio and Gamua into the starting 11? But I think everyone's straight away substitution is Federico Chiesa. But I think just, chat, did we ever anticipate Fede to very much get a run in this Liverpool side? Because if he's not got it, especially when Cody Gakpo's out this week for the next couple of weeks as well, if Fede Chiesa is not actually getting into the starting 11, then certainly for his own sake he needs to go in January. And if that's the case, get Chiesa's wages off the wage bill, try and sell him to an Italian club for 10-15 million, get the money back that we got from him as well. Because at this moment in time, Chiesa is just using Anfield just for the facilities to get back to full fitness. You had it with Felipe Melo as well. Obviously, I think when we sold him to, it was a Fiorentina or whoever he went to as well the following season when we got rid of him. I swear, he literally played like 33 games in the league season. It's like made up to see that, but it just goes to show the infrastructure at Liverpool and like the resources of like player recoveries are so crucial as well. So, chat, let us know your thoughts on that. No choice. Big up there, that. Big up there, but good to see a couple of new faces in. The owners weren't going to offer him a new contract, but him having the season he had and Trent leaving, they had no choice as well. Yeah, it's certainly, mate. It would have been a bit of a mad season, wouldn't it, mate? And chat, replacing the calibre of Trent, replacing Salah as well. But when you look at it as well, like, this is why I do feel when I spoke to Kevin, when you would look at the job in which Arne Slot done at Feyenoord, at that time he'd done a lot of transfers at Feyenoord, and I do feel something similar has certainly happened already with Liverpool as well. Arne has been tasked with being the head coach of a side that will certainly have a lot of rotation of players coming in and a lot of players going out. Salah being one of them, possibly in January or post next season. Trent's gone. Obviously Diaz went. Darwin Núñez went as well. I'm pretty sure there'll be a couple of midfielders going as well in the next 12 months. Obviously Endo, hopefully we do replace him. No disrespect to Endo, but that's where Liverpool needs to certainly bridge the gap in the quality as well. And obviously some other players that have gone. Obviously Costas will probably leave come at the end of this season. I don't. Chat, has he even been playing for Roma? I don't think he has. I think he is. He injured or whatever. But even if he can't, and obviously João Quanta went to Bayer Leverkusen, so there's been a lot of rotation. And but yeah, it's just it's a difficult role and difficult job for any head coach. And this is where I don't understand where. When I've seen some of very much the discourse really on social media, like with regards to Arne Slot, the way in which he's handled Salah, or not just Salah, but for the majority of the players. Where's everyone been for it? Like some Liverpool fans going, "Oh, how can he treat Salah like this?" Arne Slot, the way he managed exactly the way he did last year to this season as well. Arne is not. We know he's not a Jurgen Klopp actual manager. He's a head coach. He's there to coach the team and coach the players as well. Of course, that's something that Arne, of course, he's still a young manager. Hopefully he will learn, and coming off the back of like the last 6 months and how difficult it has been for him at Liverpool, hopefully he just opens up a bit more and just becomes a bit more of a, not a Jurgen Klopp figure, but he just, that kind of side of his game, that where he's a bit more understanding. But it might not just be his style, but I think for the longevity of Arne, just not to be best mates with the player, because that's never been the way he's been as a manager. Because you look at obviously the players last season, all the players separately, you see it on the socials as well. It looked like obviously all the coaches, staff, and all that went on a separate holiday to the players as well. And I think Arne said that in his post match, in some of his press conferences as well. Like he let the players be the players and enjoyed themselves, and they went on and enjoyed themselves at the end of last season as well. And that's the way Arne's been. He's not that type of manager like a Jurgen Klopp where you put your arm around the shoulder. But I think in terms of long term, if Arne wants to stay at Liverpool, I think that's slightly, even though he's a head coach and obviously he's not a manager, obviously two very different titles as a manager and a head coach. But I think Arne is tasked with, and not just Arne, but obviously Richard Hughes and Edwards and all that, in terms of taking out certain players of that squad as well. Because any way you approach the Salah issue, he was never going to go happy Like, he was always going to be very disappointed, and I think that might be just a case of Liverpool turned around to Mo and said, "We want you gone, Mo." And Mo's certainly not. He's wanting to stay at Liverpool, of course. But I think now, in the next 6-12 months, will be the time where Salah does eventually depart Liverpool. As sad as that is, but it might just be the time in which the data lads and Arne has analysed Salah's performances over the last couple of months as well, and like, now is possibly the best time, really, and especially if we can get money back for Mo if we can. Even if we get the money we did get all the way spent at Roma all those years ago, that'd be amazing, really. That would be tremendous. But I'll never forget what he's done for this football club as well. Gakpo is a great footballer. He's fell off a cliff, and he was fair enough. Callum as well. Elliot needs to come back and needs to be true. Yeah, and that's Callum. Obviously, sorry, mate. We haven't made that an agenda onto tonight's show anyway. With regards to the situation with Harvey Elliott as well. There's something. I feel sorry for Harvey as well, though, Callum. It's a bit of a mad one, really, mate. If he comes back in January, I don't even know if it's possible. I think, obviously, we've seen the Unai Emery quotes, was it yesterday or the day before, in the press conference. I think Villa just won tonight, 2-1, away from home against Basel, which is a huge result for them. 8 wins from 8 for Villa anyway. But, yeah, hopefully Elliott comes back, and I'll tell you what, there's an opportunity for Harvey on that right wing anyway. The main thing with Elliott, a bit similar when you analyse Joe Gomez as well, and a bit similar with certainly Curtis Jones as well. For me, those 3 players need to play on a consistent 5 to 6 week run, really. I feel like Gomez was seeing, obviously, another great 70-minute cameo against Inter, doing the world of good as well. So it's all good as well. So hopefully, even if he comes back in January, I think he'll be a welcomed addition, in all honesty, because it's just mad. It's mad how Elliott can't get a game for Villa, and everyone goes, if he can't get a game for Villa, how can he get a game for Liverpool? But circumstances, again, chat. If Salah's form has dropped off a cliff this season, then there will be an opportunity, because apart from Dominic Szoboszlai, you can certainly facilitate down that right-hand side anyway. But I think even you look at the results over the last couple of weeks, is you look at that bench and you're like, we're all literally scratching our head going, who's coming on? Like, and obviously with Gakpo being injured, it's really, really difficult for them as well. So, Callum, would you have Harvey back anyway? But yeah, I'd choose to get along. Big up there, Art. If I had a choice, I'd get Alonso in the door right now. Let's not forget Xavi was Edwards' first choice as well. Was he, Art? As I said, mate, yeah, I'm obviously not privy to that. Those articles anyway, but if that is the case, of course, I think Xavi Alonso was certainly a lot of people's managerial top players as well. And I feel, chat, as you look at the way in which Liverpool recruited, in terms of bringing Xavi, in terms of Frimpong and Floody and Wirtz as well, I think they were brought in with the understanding maybe in a couple of years' time, if Alonso ever took over as manager at Liverpool, we'd all welcome at Liverpool, but it just comes down to Arne Slot. Hopefully Arne can sort it. But I tell you, chat, if he was available, and if Arne was to depart Liverpool, there'd be no better manager in world football, as Art said there, than Xavi Alonso. And he'd be allowed time at Liverpool. Yeah, even though he did get beat by, obviously, Manchester City, but it's a stark contrast, really, isn't it? When you look and analyse the side he had at Leverkusen, and then the side that Real Madrid. Now, players are just so lazy, but it's not just Xavi Alonso. Zinedine Zidane won 3 Champions Leagues, and using Salah's own words, they threw Zidane under the bus, really, in terms of getting him the sack as well, which is mad. A legend of Real Madrid, a legend of football as well. Yeah, so it's another option there, Callum. But chat, we've got another big game on the horizon. You look at, obviously, Brighton Currently sitting 8th in the Premier League so far this season. It scored 25, conceded 21, got a +4 goal difference as well. They are above Liverpool, which, no surprise really. I'm looking at that table, chat, and it does my head in. Look at where Brighton are, look at where Everton are as well. Obviously, even though it is like a couple of points anyway, but even still, that regardless, that's not good enough. Liverpool should be at least second or third in that table, competing with Arsenal. But this season, by the looks of it, unless we don't buck up our ideas quickly, then I think certainly a top 4 battle will be extremely difficult this year, especially if the likes of Aston Villa and Crystal Palace continue to keep on winning as well. And we see the shouts of Enzo Maresca possibly getting sacked as well, which is mad, really, when you think about it. But yeah, so yeah, could you imagine if Arne Slot does depart Liverpool and Unai Emery's still at Man United? I think if that happened, if Arne did depart Liverpool and Liverpool picked a different manager, then I think Emery would certainly get sacked anyway as well. But it's one of them. But Reds, Hazlitt, obviously one of the youngest managers in world football as well. How have you gauged his time at Brighton? For me, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, to say the least. Obviously replacing De Zerbi, who did go to, of course, Marseille. But he's obviously overseen the departure of McAllister, seen the departure, of course, of Moses Caicedo as well. A lot of other big players within that side as well. Obviously, you look at the form guide, the last 5 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss as well for Brighton Hove Albion. And then when you look over in regards to obviously their loads, hello, it's working. Bear 1 second in chat. Yeah, if you look at their starting 11, obviously the side in which that did feature in the last game that they did have, obviously. What was it? I'm trying to see. Yeah, obviously that was in the 1-1 draw with West Ham United. Anyway, you look, obviously, a player that Arne Slot will know a lot about, Max Wiefer, number 27. Eventually get there anyway. Obviously did play under Arne Slot anyway. Verbergen, obviously Van Hecker, Lewis Dunk as well, and new Turkish left back that they did sign, very much to replace Estepinian, who did depart to AC Milan. Obviously was bought to replace Theo Hernandez, but the Ecuadorians certainly not hit the ground running anyway. But obviously Kajalogu as well. Obviously their Turkish left back, completely butchered that, but their new lad down that left hand side. An interesting signing, to say the least anyway. And then obviously the midfield, two number 6s, obviously Gomez and Baliba. And up top, obviously, Minter, Rutter, DiCaprio, and, of course, Danny Welbeck. Look at that, chat. Danny Welbeck's on 7 goals already this season. There was a lot of talk coming into this season that Brighton wouldn't give him a new contract, which I find absolutely staggering, really. Danny Welbeck's playing like a man that wants at least another 12-month contract. I tell you, if he gets over 10 goals for Brighton, he deserves at least another year rolling contract as well. I need to check. I watched Danny Welbeck now, chat. Let's have a little look. Is he? I mean, he's like 36 now. Is he? Is he 36? No, 35. But obviously, he's just turned 35 now anyway. But even still, 11 starts, 7 goals in 15 matches in the Premier League, which is good going, to say the least, really. Obviously, he got a goal against Brentford, 2 goals against Newcastle, a goal against United, a goal against Leeds as well. So a couple of very big goals for Danny Welbeck anyway, chat. I'm petrified at watching Liverpool go into any game of football at this moment in time anyway. They do present a lot of threat, obviously a lot of quality within their side as well. You only have to have a little look in terms of the players that they've obviously mentioned. Some of them, obviously Jason Steele in goal as well, Lewis Dunk, Basagli, obviously the French centre half, obviously 28 years old anyway, new signing in the summer. obviously Carlos Baleba, the biggest one really for them. And you're looking at some of the departures. Obviously, Pascal Gross as well. Obviously, play at Borussia Dortmund now as well. But a couple of, as I said, I haven't watched a lot of Brighton, but it's another side of course, like Brentford in terms of the recruitment and what they've done really well. You look at that, obviously for me, Van Hecke, a centre-half that, not just Liverpool, but certainly a club like Manchester City will be having a little look and an eye on, really. Because he's certainly a lad that can, as you can see already from the graphic, 1 assist, 3 goals already in the Premier League. So one of the biggest, that's a huge asset for any football club as well. You look at Mark Gahey, hopefully he comes to Liverpool in January. But I do feel Van Hecke, if he doesn't go to Manchester City, and the big lads, I'm hoping that possibly even Liverpool should be at least looking at him anyway, because we all know his quality, but I think the way in which he distributes the ball as well, the way he commands the penalty area as well, certainly, I think everyone thinks because of his height, everyone goes, he's not the quickest, but it's his understanding of the game. He does really well as well. So obviously Lewis Dunk, but mainly Van Hecke. Hopefully Liverpool, and obviously Rutter. Then the signing from Leeds for big money. I think when you look at the outlay and what you're expecting, hoping really, since he's coming to, of course, Brighton, I think they certainly expected a lot more than what they've currently got anyway. From their perspective as well. But you look at the data, you look at obviously the contributions to the Brighton side as well. Top goal scorer this season in the Premier League. Of course, this is all Premier League data as well. Danny Welbeck, top goal scorer in the Prem for them. 7 goals. Van Hecke, 3. Says a lot when your second highest goal scorer in the Premier League is a centre-half as well. Diego Gomez, top assister in the division. Minter, Mats Riefer as well. Rutter with 2 assists as well. So contributions-wise, it's just all about shutting down the likes of Danny Welbeck and certainly Minter. Minter, obviously Arne Slot. Did he manage Minter at Feyenoord? Was it? Obviously, Newcastle United did sell the winger anyway. The window just gone. So an interesting team, an interesting game at least as well. We've mentioned some of the threat that do pose, but if Liverpool aren't on it at the weekend, we can certainly get punished. And hopefully Liverpool can just put in a performance that is worthy of just winning games of football. But yeah, like you look at, let's have a get up the table as well. Because you look at the Premier League table, certainly. Arsenal are facing Wolves. Are they home or away? Wolves, yeah. Arsenal got Wolves at home. They'll win that. City have got Crystal Palace away from home. Aston Villa have got West Ham away from home. So a win for Liverpool that will put us on 26 points. It'll put us on joint points with Crystal Palace if they very much do get beat by Manchester City. So yeah, it's just a bit of a mad season to say the least, Reds. But I think a win is so important, and we know that Liverpool just need to start. You look at the last 3 games of Liverpool, the draws are just so annoying. That result against Leeds United, that's what's so frustrating as well, though, chat. And this is why I mentioned with Arne Slot, the substitutions this season have been a joke. Like, on the watch long on Anfield Index, I was saying, as soon as he took, I knew straight away, as soon as he took Hugo Ekitike off, all the balance, all the control within the game completely went. And I'm hoping Arne doesn't do that next couple of weeks as well. Just be a lot more switched on the touchline as well, and just actually understand the game a lot more. But that's what happens when he's panicking and making silly decisions that he wasn't making last season. As soon as Ekitike come off the pitch, even if he's knackered, just get Hugo to drop 10-15 yards a bit more deeper as well. But yeah, chat, huge game on the weekends. Hopefully Liverpool can certainly get the he did manage both of them, Callum. Certainly. I think there was reports, was it a couple of months ago anyway, beginning of the season, obviously prior to Minter departing Newcastle, there was links with him moving to Liverpool. He's certainly an interesting player to keep an eye on as well, Reds. I've not seen a lot of him, but from all the data and all that, looking at him in the summer, he certainly ticks a lot of boxes that our data department will certainly be having a little look at anyway. But yeah, an interesting player. But yeah, it comes to Firmino rejecting Real Madrid twice, early days of his Liverpool career. Then when he left Liverpool, what a player, one of my favourites as well. But yeah, we will lose if Slot stops being so stubborn with his selection. Obviously, yeah, it's about, as every manager there asks as well, though, mate. It's all about playing players in form. But as Arne has struggled so far this season, he's fighting for his job. He's fighting for his Liverpool career as well. He's making decisions on the touchline where we're all going like, "Whoa, come on." So yeah, and some players, not just Arne Slot, but a lot of players a lot of managers do have favourites. Jurgen Klopp had many of his favourites as well, obviously giving Hendo a new contract, even though the hierarchy above were telling Klopp, no, don't give him a new deal. And that's why obviously Edwards and some of the sporting directors reportedly did depart, was obviously Jurgen Klopp did have too much control at the football club, and hence why he was absolutely knackered as well. Jurgen Klopp, you could see at the end of his tenure, he's looking 20 years younger, which is great for Jurgen Klopp anyway. But any notion of him possibly coming back into the spotlight of Liverpool Football Club is like, yeah, no, that ship has well and truly sailed anyway. But Eds, a massive thank you to everyone that is tuned in tonight. Very much appreciated. I will be live tomorrow morning anyway. Do get involved in that show as well. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But Reds, look after yourself. Massive thank you to Callum. Massive thank you to obviously Ars as well. And Hero. Big up there, Hero. Big up there, Dan as well, Barnsley fan. Big up to all you absolute legends. Big up there, Gary as well. Big up there, Gary as well. Obviously, we spoke about yeah. We've seen some very disappointing performances, not just on the touchline as well, but on the pitch. But hopefully, for the better, Liverpool very quickly turn things quickly around anyway. But Reds, I'll see you tomorrow morning anyway. Nice one, everyone, for tuning in. Very much appreciated. As always, Reds, make sure you do hit like, share, and subscribe to Anfield Road TV as well. And again, Reds, I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra.